Good evening, everybody. My name is Sean McClure, and welcome back to another episode. Today, people want to ask me to do this, so I might as well do it now. I'm gonna view my complaints. So this on NASCAR these days. So this will be kind of a rant episode, you want to say. So, I'm gonna give you my complaints, things I don't like about NASCAR, what you think they should change on it, and see what what the difference was NASCAR back then than it is now. So here we go. You know, a lot of us watched at least one NASCAR race. Whatever it's like a big race like the Daytona 500 or the Coke 600, or just a normal Sunday race like last week, where we're just boring. You just watch, the whole thing. Well, there is some things I don't like about NASCAR, and I think a lot of people would agree to this. Especially on the race last week, where it was boring and it was no fun. It was really slow pace. Like for example, like the race last week, it was poor commentating. We didn't have like at least one through the field, see how the drivers are doing. Usually, any of the other races we have that. But this time we didn't. And I just really want to know how the drivers are doing. And the other thing is, it's just, and also with a lot of races nowadays, with all the technology we have, it's like one guy dominating the whole race while the other guys don't even have a chance. So, here's the things are here. With NASCAR, here's the thing about NASCAR these days. NASCAR these days is all about money and sponsors. That's actually, here's the truth. Now, whole teams don't get suspended because that'll also be a suspension of their sponsors. And the sponsors want them to see out there on the track. But here's the thing. Back in the 50s and 60s, it was real racing back then. You actually had to use your own race car. You actually built one, put a roll cage in it, painted the car, modified the engine. You go out there and race. These days, it's these plastic cookie cutter cars I see nowadays that have different types of engines that just go around there on the track. But here's the thing. In NASCAR's top teams, all right, for example, Hendrick Motorsports, who's one of the best teams in NASCAR, that I'm wearing a shirt right here, has over $110 million on their team. While a slow team like Front Row Motorsports or a team called the Key Turner's Motorsports Group only has an average of $5 to $7 million in their company. That's a big difference. You have, like for example, you could take Jeff Gordon or Jimmy Johnson. If you put them in their slow cars from Front Row Motorsports, and they would just suck as bad as anybody else who was on that same car that are running in the back. For example, you take a slow guy, we don't pay, like for example, we don't pay attention to the slow guys because we're always in to the guys that are contenders. Now, like teams like Chip Ganassi, Hendrick Motorsports, Stewart Haas Racing, Penske Racing, and Joe Gibbs Racing, and don't forget Furniture Row Racing. Those are all teams that are contenders because of their engine package, whether it's TRD or Roush H engines or the Hendrick engines. Those kind of engines have an average of 800 to 850 horsepower, at least what I heard. And then the slower teams, like Front Row Motorsports or Germain Racing or the Key Turner's Motorsports Group, have an average of 750 horsepower. So it's a big difference. You need horsepower to win races, right? It's about strategy too, but it's also about horsepower. If you want to go out there and dominate. And that's the thing with NASCAR these days, is like they have these special engine packages that you go out there on the track and it just makes it look like a show. Like the slow guys don't even get a chance to get to those contenders. And it's just a show. But back in the day, it was a race. Like, even back in the 90s, I watched some races back in the 80s and the 90s on YouTube, and it made it look like a race. Side-by-side racing, bumping, and, trying to get yourself to the checkered flag as best you could. Now, these days, when another NASCAR, I hear from NASCAR radio, when another driver hits another driver, the driver that got hit, all they do is just complain on the radio. Even if they're in the finish line, they bump, like most races I see, they bump into them when they come to the finish line. All they do is complain. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, we want to make no, that's what NASCAR fans want. We want to have equal cars out there on the track that all have a chance, racing side by side. And at the end, if another guy's mad, then just let him have at it. If two guys are fighting wherever on the racetrack or on pit road, and then just let them have it. Don't try and break it up. And it gives more entertainment to the fans, and it gives more entertainment to the whole racing crew, instead of just, crew members just getting involved in it and breaking it up. The sports has just gone so weak. That's what I want to say. The sport's gone weak. Back in the old days, you had tough men like Bobby Allison, Cale Yarborough, Richard Petty, Darrell Waltrip, Dale Sr., David Pearson, Joe Weatherly, Rex White, Fireball Roberts. They were all really tough men that worked hard, got themselves into that position. And then nowadays, especially with a lot of the young drivers nowadays, are just a bunch of young rich kids who have no respect for the old guys. And the reason why they're in it is because of all the money they have. They have, because they come from a rich family that just bought them little go-karts and late models, and they just go out there on the track. And that's another thing, if there's a switch, if you take all the slow guys that are in poor equipment or slow equipment, and you put them into top equipment, kind of like with the known drivers, and put the known drivers in slower equipment, that makes a big difference in the NASCAR world. Because so much, and it's because of the money. Back when Petty and Yarborough and Allison, when they all raced, there wasn't that much money in the line. For example, Richard Petty won 27 races in 1967, plus 40 top tens, and he won the championship, and he only earned $150,000 that year. Compared to today, in today's world, for an average year, we'll say 3 wins, 9 top 5s, and 18 top 10s. That's an average of $5 to $6 million today. This world. That's a lot. That's a big difference, and it's just so much money has got into the sport that it just kind of like separated people. It's like NASCAR was like a family sport, and to me, it doesn't feel like that to me anymore. It just makes it look like a circus show out there with cookie cutter cars that are boring, and just one guy dominates, and all the other drivers don't have a chance. Basically, also in some races, whoever has the fastest car is going to win. Or at least has the fastest cars are going to be in the top 10. It's just, for me, if I want to make NASCAR better, I want to make the cars all equal. If I had a choice, I would make the cars all equal. And that's the thing. We need like a salary cap to make all the cars equal, all have a chance, and make them competitive. They could bump and bang into each other without no penalties or nothing. And also with less rules, okay? Yes, you do need safe rules like on pit road and stuff. But don't add rules where, for lug nut penalties, or kind of also those rules where you bump into a guy and fight a guy and you get fined $10,000. Because to them, that's pocket change to them. It doesn't do anything. It's just for the money. Just let them fight. That's what makes America so entertaining in the sports industry. Just let them fight. Let them bump into each other. Let them do whatever it takes to make NASCAR more popular again. What NASCAR needs is equal cars, boys have at it. And as well as, you know, not getting as much money as involved. Well, get money. Well, I think money is involved today, but make it, you know, make it more like a race instead of a show. I mean, oh, it's like you guys hear debris cautions. Like, I don't see any debris out there. Come on, just let them race. Don't make it like a show. NASCAR needs to be a race, not a circus show in town. Make it like a cool show that everybody wants to watch and people will get entertainment out of. But today, for me and a lot of other NASCAR fans, we don't have that. But it's time to make a change, NASCAR. Please listen to this and see what a big difference you can make in the racing world. Alright, anyways, that's my rant. You know, if you agree with me, that's great. If you don't, I'm okay with that too. It's just my opinion. But anyways, guys, thank you for all subscribing and thank you for everything you do. I'm Sean McCleary. We'll see you next time on Sean's Pit Stop. Peace out.